First contact. The Zenith, pride of the Galactic Consortium's exploration fleet, glided silently through the void at the edge of charted space. Commander Vexterra stood on the bridge, her four eyes scanning the holographic displays that surrounded her command station. The ship had been dispatched to investigate an anomalous energy signature detected by long-range sensors, a signature that defied classification by the Consortium's extensive database. Status report, Vexterra demanded, her voice calm despite the tension that rippled through her scaled skin. Science Officer Nazril approached, his elongated digits dancing across a datapad. The signal continues to fluctuate, Commander. It bears similarities to quantum-fold technology, but with variations we've never encountered. The source appears to be a planet in the fringe sector, designation FS-2187. Curious, Vexterra mused. That region was surveyed 2 centuries ago. Nothing of significance was reported. The records show only a Class II terrestrial planet. Habitable, but uninhabited, Nazril confirmed. Vexterra's secondary eyes narrowed. Perhaps the survey team was mistaken, or perhaps something has changed. As the Zenith approached the planet, the crew fell silent. The world before them was undeniably vibrant, swirling blue oceans, verdant continents, and the unmistakable geometric patterns of civilization. Impossible, breathed Tactical Officer Krulzak. The planetary survey was thorough. There was nothing here. And yet, Vexterra said, gesturing to the obvious evidence of intelligent life, here we are. The scans revealed more puzzles. Energy signatures unlike any known to the Consortium. Materials that defied standard classification. And strangest of all, communication frequencies that matched no known species in the galaxy. Prepare a landing party, Vexterra ordered. I want answers. The shuttle descended through the atmosphere, buffeted by winds that seemed to carry whispers of secrets. The landing team, Vexterra, Nazril, Krulzak, and 3 security specialists, touched down in a clearing several kilometers from the nearest structure. Atmosphere is breathable, Nazril confirmed after analyzing the air. No detected pathogens or toxins. They proceeded cautiously, weapons ready but not raised. The forest around them was eerily familiar yet subtly wrong. Trees that resembled those from dozens of worlds, yet with variations that spoke of deliberate engineering. These plants, Nazril murmured, scanning a flowering bush, they've been genetically modified. Extensively, the team crested a hill and stopped short. Before them lay a city, not the primitive settlements they half expected, but a metropolis of gleaming spires and sweeping arches. Energy fields shimmered around structures that defied conventional engineering. Transport vessels zipped silently along invisible pathways. By the void, Krulzak whispered, "What is this place?" As if in answer, a sleek vehicle detached from the city and approached their position. The aliens tensed, weapons half raised, but Vexterra signaled them to stand down. The vehicle halted 50 meters away, hovering silently. A door slid open, and a figure emerged. It was bipedal, mammalian, with pinkish-beige skin and dark hair. Recognition dawned on Vexterra, with a shock that nearly brought her to her knees. Humans, she breathed. But that's impossible. Humans were known to the Consortium. Of course, a primitive species confined to a single world on the opposite side of the galaxy. They had achieved basic spaceflight, but nothing more. The Consortium had classified them as a Level 2 civilization, centuries away from true interstellar capability. Yet here stood a human, dressed in a sleek uniform that seemed to shimmer with embedded technology, regarding them with calm curiosity rather than fear or awe. "Welcome to New Horizon," the human said in perfect Consortium standard. "We've been expecting you." The human, who introduced himself as Director Marcus Chen, led the stunned aliens to the outskirts of the city. A transparent dome materialized around them. A meeting space, Chen explained, where they could talk undisturbed. "You speak our language," Vexterra said, struggling to maintain her composure. Chen smiled, We speak many languages. We've been studying the consortium for some time. That's impossible, Nazriel interjected. Earth is under observation. Your species has barely reached your own moon. Ah, Chen said, his smile widening. You're referring to old Earth. Yes, to all appearances, humanity there is still taking its first steps into space. That's by design. I don't understand, Vexterra said. Chen gestured, and a holographic display appeared between them. It showed a timeline, beginning with Earth's early space exploration and branching into two paths. 300 years ago, by your reckoning, a group of humans discovered something that changed everything. A mathematical principle that allowed for efficient faster-than-light travel. But they also discovered something else. Evidence that we were being watched. The hologram showed surveillance satellites of clearly alien design orbiting Earth. Your consortium, Chen continued, along with several other advanced civilizations, had been monitoring Earth for centuries. Standard protocol for emerging sentient species, I understand. Vexterra nodded numbly. This was indeed standard procedure, observe, but never interfere with developing civilizations until they achieved FTL capability on their own. The discovery presented a dilemma, Chen said. Reveal the truth to the world and risk interference from outside forces before we were ready, or use our newfound knowledge quietly, strategically. The hologram showed a small group of ships departing Earth, using a form of propulsion that even now, Vexterra couldn't quite comprehend. The Pioneer Initiative was born. A secret exodus. We took our best and brightest, scientists, engineers, artists, philosophers, and we left. We established colonies in remote sectors, beyond the reach of your observation networks. New Horizon was our first settlement, founded 278 years ago. But Earth, Nazriel began, continues as it always has, Chen finished. The majority of humanity remains unaware of our existence. We maintain the illusion of a species still finding its way, while in reality, we've been exploring the stars for generations. Vexterra's mind reeled. Why reveal yourselves to us now? Chen's expression grew serious. Because the time for secrecy is coming to an end. Because we've discovered something that threatens not just humanity, but all sentient life in the galaxy. And because, despite our differences, we believe cooperation is the only path forward. He gestured again, and the hologram shifted to show a region of space near the galactic core. A darkness spread there, consuming stars. We call it the Void Plague. It's consuming stellar matter at an accelerating rate. Our models predict it will reach consortium space within 50 years, Earth in 75. Vexterra stared at the hologram, horror dawning. And you believe you can stop this? Not alone, Chen said, but together. Perhaps. We've developed technologies your scientists would find interesting. In return, we need access to consortium star charts, xenobiology databases, and diplomatic channels. You've been hiding all this time, developing technologies beyond anything we possess, and now you expect us to trust you, Krulzak demanded. Chen's gaze was steady. We expect you to survive. The choice is yours. As the aliens were led deeper into the city, evidence of humanity's advancement became increasingly apparent. Nazriel stopped before a public terminal, eyes wide with disbelief. This interface, it's neurally responsive. We've been theorizing such technology for decades, but the power requirements, solved by quantum entanglement batteries, Chen said casually. Standard in all our systems now. Vexterra studied the humans they passed. They appeared physically identical to the humans of Earth, yet there was a subtle difference in how they carried themselves, a confidence, a purpose that spoke of generations born among the stars. Your colony, she said slowly. How many are you? New Horizon houses approximately 3 million, Chen replied. But we're just one colony. How many others? Chen's smile was enigmatic. That information is classified. For now. They arrived at a vast complex that Chen identified as the Archives, a repository of human knowledge and history. Inside, they were shown to a secure room where data panels lined the walls. "I'm authorized to share our history with you," Chen said, "to help you understand who we are and why secrecy was necessary." The displays activated, showing the early days of the Pioneer Initiative. Vextara watched, fascinated, as the first colonists established themselves on New Horizon, terraforming the planet, building sustainable infrastructure, and developing technologies that leapfrogged conventional development paths. "We had advantages," Chen explained. "No entrenched interests to overcome. No cultural resistance to new ideas. We could rebuild human civilization from first principles, optimized for growth and discovery." The displays showed more. The expansion to other worlds, the development of technologies that should have been centuries beyond human capability, and most disturbingly, evidence of human observation posts throughout consortium space. "You've been spying on us," Krelzak accused. "We've been learning about our neighbors," Chen corrected, "as you've done with Earth. The difference is, we did so without interfering." Vextera's mind worked furiously, calculating the implications. If humans had achieved this level of advancement in secret, what else might they be capable of? The consortium's military strategists would view them as an existential threat. "Your revelation will cause panic," she said. "Many will call for containment measures." "We're aware of the risk," Chen acknowledged. "But the Void Plague leaves us no choice. We need allies, not adversaries." As they exited the Archives, a commotion erupted outside. A crowd had gathered, humans staring and pointing at the alien visitors. Unlike the calm officials they'd met, these citizens showed open curiosity and excitement. "They weren't told we were coming?" Vextera asked. "They were informed of first contact," Chen said. "But seeing alien species in person is still a momentous occasion for most." A child broke from the crowd, rushing toward them before being intercepted by security. The child called out something in a language Vextera didn't recognize. "What did they say?" she asked. Chen's expression softened. "She asked if you were from the stars her grandparents told stories about. Many of our citizens are only a few generations removed from Earth. The old stories are still important to us." As they continued their tour, Vextera was struck by the contradictions of human society. Advanced beyond anything the consortium had anticipated, yet still recognizably human in their emotions and connections. Their final stop was a viewing platform overlooking a massive construction facility. Inside, a vessel was taking shape, larger than any consortium ship, with lines that spoke of both power and grace. "The Covenant," Chen said proudly. "Our flagship, one of 12 we're building across our colonies." "For what purpose?" Krelzak asked, suspicion evident. Chen's expression grew solemn. "To fight the Void Plague. To save what can be saved when it arrives." "And if we refuse your offer of alliance?" Vextera asked quietly. Chen turned to her, his eyes reflecting a sadness that transcended species differences. "Then we will fight alone, Commander. And we will remember who stood with us when the darkness came." As they prepared to return to the Zenith, Vextera found herself torn. Protocol demanded she report everything to the Consortium High Command. Yet she understood the panic such a report would cause, the fear of a human civilization that had advanced in secret, the military response that would surely follow. "Before you leave," Chen said, "there's one more thing you should see." He led them to a small, unassuming building near the landing site. Inside was a single room with a holographic projection of Earth. "This is a live feed," Chen explained. "We maintain constant observation of our ancestral home." The image zoomed in, showing a city Vextera recognized as New York. Then it shifted to show something else, a dark patch in the ocean, spreading slowly. "The first signs of the Void Plague have already reached Earth," Chen said quietly. "Microscopic now, but growing. The Earth governments don't have the technology to detect it yet." Vextera stared at the image, the implications hitting her like a physical blow. How long before it becomes visible to them? 5 years, maybe less. And you haven't warned them. Chen's expression was pained. How? Without revealing our existence, without causing global panic. We've been trying to find a way. Vexterra looked at the human, seeing him truly for the first time, not as a threat, not as a curiosity, but as a being facing the same existential dread that now gripped her. Perhaps, she said slowly, that is where we can begin our cooperation. As they departed New Horizon, the Zenith's crew was silent, each lost in their own thoughts about what they had witnessed. Vexterra stood at the viewport, watching the planet recede. "Commander," Nazriel said quietly, joining her, "what will you report to High Command?" Vexterra was silent for a long moment. "The truth," she finally said, "but not all at once. Some truths must be approached carefully, lest they destroy those who hear them." "And the humans?" Vexterra turned from the viewport, her decision made. "They are not what we thought. They are more. And whether that makes them our greatest allies or our greatest threat remains to be seen." As the Zenith jumped to FTL, carrying its cargo of world-changing revelations, Vexterra couldn't shake the feeling that the galaxy would never be the same again. The revelation. 3 standard days after their departure from New Horizon, the Zenith remained in orbit around the system's outer gas giant. Commander Vexterra had ordered a communications blackout, citing technical malfunctions to explain their silence to Consortium Command. In reality, she needed time. Time to process what they had discovered, time to decide how to present information that could trigger interstellar panic. "The crew is growing restless," First Officer Gaxtol reported, entering Vexterra's private quarters. "They understand the need for discretion, but rumors are spreading." Vexterra nodded, her 4 eyes focused on the data displays floating before her. "Inevitable. But I need more information before we proceed." "You're considering returning to New Horizon," Gaxtol said. It wasn't a question. "Yes." Director Chen's invitation to learn more remains open. "I believe it's essential we understand the full scope of human capabilities before reporting to command." Gaxtol's inner eyelids flickered, a sign of concern among their species. "The protocols for first contact are clear, Commander. We should have reported immediately." "This isn't first contact," Vexterra countered. "Humanity has been known to us for centuries. This is something else entirely." The decision made, the Zenith returned to New Horizon the following day. They were greeted not with surprise, but with what appeared to be satisfaction. "We hoped you would return," Director Chen said as he met them at the landing pad. "There is much more to